Good morning, YouTubers. It's Sunday the 10th of March 2012. Just a quick update on the mini aquaponic system. The fish I have to test the water today, but I had to lay off feeding. Still doing experiments as to the feeding rates for the DWCs connected with the system and the homemade fish food and that, so learning a lot on the feeding rates of them. Doing okay. We've had 0 fish losses so far, so that's doing pretty okay. Everything's running great, no problems with plumbing or water or anything like that. Thought I would with all the holes I put in it. I have to plant out a whole load of stuff because we're in March now, so it's the beginning of planting a few bits and pieces. These are about 2 to 3 weeks old, so we need to get them. I ran out of neck cups, so I'm just waiting for them to come Monday. So we're going to have, this place is going to be covered in seedlings. They're going to be sown Monday or Tuesday next week. Growth in here has just been incredible. The melon plants just sprawling everywhere. Remember, it's only 3 weeks since our last video, so you can do your own comparison if you look back on the previous video that was up there. You can see the amount of growth. These are now all the flowers, just like the ones I had outside last year. All the flowers for the moment are all male. There's no real fruit flowers on it yet, so I'm just waiting on some fruit flowers so I can hand pollinate them. Couldn't see any fruit flowers on it yet, but I put 1 or 2 more plants in here. It looks bare because we harvested all these salads. They were huge, they were all over the place, and last week Emily came in and gutted the whole lot, and we had this beautiful salad, and of course no pictures taken, I think, and so it was absolutely the nicest salad I have ever had. We had a mix of all the different salads that were in here, and there was loads in it with some quiche, and it was absolutely divine. So we have a cauliflower, baby cauliflower. Now you can see the difference. That cauliflower, these are the same as these seedlings down here, and as soon as they go into the aquaponics, the mini aquaponic system, they seem to just take off, and they get so much sturdier. There's a lot of rasa there, some kale. These have only been put in here this week, so they're only in here a few days. This tomato plant, you'll probably remember that was our first tomato to come out, so it's doing pretty okay, our first cherry tomato, so hopefully that'll ripen soon. We've got another bunch here with 1 or 2 babies and a nice size one on it, and there's some flowers up the top. Of course, I'm not, as you can see, I'm not pollinating this enough. If I was coming out and shaking the plants and pollinating it more frequently, we wouldn't be losing all these flowers, I think. But there's some new perpetual spinach and all sorts of salads in there. Another melon. On this one, then the melons are doing fantastic as well. This is another cherry tomato. I love cherry tomatoes. There's a bunch of flowers coming out here. There's a few tomatoes on top with flowers, and there's a bunch of tomatoes here. Another bunch of flowers up top. There's a bunch of tomatoes here. Another bunch of tomatoes here. And all the salads that we absolutely devoured. Well, it's amazing. It's, you know, coming from such a small amount of feed going into those goldfish. So yeah, we've the LED light is working absolutely fantastic. I stuck it on a timer, and the pros and cons of it is we wanted it to have as little to do with it as possible, and it rubs off that if you've nothing to do, well then you don't check it only once a week, and you know, next thing you know, you got loads of flowers that are not pollinated. So I'm still going to have to keep checking on it for pollination and stuff like that. But as well as that, the salads just they can just sometimes they just take off when the nutrients are right. They just take over the place. Keep trimming them back. I've trimmed back a couple of the stems and the tomato plants that are facing in towards the light. They were in here and they were coming out this way, but they weren't really needed. They were a bit brown because they were taking the brunt of the light, and I think they were really just blocking the light. I mean, the leaves are really dark, rich green at the back, so they're perfectly fine. So just trimmed a bit back. Otherwise, it was a bit overgrown in there. Quite amazing. I'm very, very happy so far. Again, it's to see DWC in its own, without much growing media, what it's going to do with the feed rates for the goldfish, so I can get an idea of what kind of nutrients it can handle. So far so good. Or if anybody has any ideas as to, maybe there's a reason behind why I have so many flowers, but not the female fruiting flower or whatever it's called on the melon plants. If there's a specific reason, maybe it's that has a mix, the two different lights, the blue and the red. Maybe that's doing it. I don't know. Eventually, if the flowers come out, I'll be happy. But that's basically it. Delighted with it so far. I'll continuously use it as a. What I'm going to do is kit out this with loads of hundreds of these coconut husks, and we're going to get little plants started now for the aquaponics in the tunnel. What we'll do is we'll always have backup plants in here then, and should we need, we can always take plants from here, whisk them out, so we can have we could take like one of these big plants if it was decent enough in the tunnel now and bring it out. We'll have a really good start to the plants, and we'll see how that goes this year. At least we know germination is going to be pretty okay. Not like last year. It was very slow because it was such bad weather. At least we'll know we get germination and the plants will be half decently strong before they go outside. Because I'm noticing that transferring them in these net pots, it doesn't seem to root shock them that much at all. They just seem to pick off where they take up where they left off. So that's basically it. Any comments? Greatly appreciated. Any ideas on how we can improve the system? And enjoy the weekend. God bless and take care.